Welcome to Geek Fandom Media. I'm your host, Chris, and you guys, we got some DCT we need to talk about in today's video. It's exciting stuff. We have some inside reports from Jeff Snyder about the Batman Part 2. James Gunn actually just now debunking that report from Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder versus James Gunn. This should be interesting. Dave Zaslav talked about the future of Superman, and he kind of leaked what James Gunn is currently working on for the future of the character, which is really interesting to me. Let's talk about that first, right? So it's been confirmed James Gunn is working on a Superman family type film for the potential sequel to Superman this year. A lot of fans are wondering, super family? How is it like you haven't introduced that many members of the super family other than, Kara, she appeared in the Superman film, and Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow releases next year. But I'm like, this is pretty fascinating. I mean, when you think about it, like, who's a part of the super family group, right? You got like Superman, you have Kara, you have potentially like Power Girl, you have Steel. Could they introduce John Henry? That would be interesting. And then you also have like Superboy, who is like a clone of like Lex and Clark, which is kind of weird to me. I just think it's a little bit too early for that. Honestly, that's the way I feel. I feel like to do this whole ordeal, bringing in all, these superpowered individuals who are, essentially, linked to Clark and Superman, a tad bit too early if you ask me. But that's what James Gunn is working on, and he confirmed it. He said, he's knee deep right now in writing that. So that's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see if any of these potential characters that do show up in this project will show up before. More than likely, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, because you can't really see these characters, showing up in a Lanterns or a Clayface, because I don't think it suits the narrative of where these particular characters could show up. But that's what we have, you guys. James Gunn is currently working on a Superman family, whatever you want to call it, sequel for Superman. Let me know what you guys feel about that in the comments down below. Now, I just finished Batman Court of Owls. If you guys don't got these DC compact, graphic novels, miniature graphic novels, I highly suggest you guys check it out. They are also affordable. $9.99 for the Court of Owls, you guys. The entire run. It is absolutely astonishing work. I talk about the Court of Owls because the Court of Owls, is a particular group of characters that people think that could possibly show up in the Batman Part 2. They start shooting, confirmed by David Zaslav, they start shooting spring of 2026, so you're looking at around March of next year. Now keep this in mind, the Batman Part 2 still doesn't release until October 2027. We're still some years out, but if they plan to start shooting next March, that means they are currently casting or looking to cast 4 brand new characters in the Batman Part 2, which is really exciting. But the report I want to talk about, Jeff Snyder came out on his Hot Mic podcast and was dropping some bombs. And he said one in particular. He said that Robin will be appearing in the Batman Part 2. And it's going to feel very similar in tone and dark in grittiness. And he said that they're taking big swings for the Batman Part 2. I was like, big swings? Interesting. What are you entailing? Like, what does that mean? So James Gunn came out and kind of debunked that rumor that, Jeff Snyder put out. He was like, why do you guys keep listening to this? He was like, only 5 to 6 people have read the script. Nobody knows about the Batman Part 2. So now who do we believe? James Gunn, the co-CEO of DC Studios, or a somewhat reliable inside scooper, Jeff Snyder? It's going to be interesting. Do I want to see, Robin potentially, in a Batman film? Yes, it's been so long. We were teased in The Dark Knight Rises, but nothing ever happened after that. We haven't. So it's been a while. What, Batman and Robin? We all know. Come on. Guilty pleasures of mine. Batman Forever is arguably top 3 best Batman film. I will die on that hill. But this is interesting. Because, there were reports stating, there was a Teen Titans film, in the works for DC Studios in James Gunn universe. Keep this in mind, reiterated thousands of times, this is a separate universe from James Gunn himself. Separate universe from what, James Gunn is cooking up with DC. If you're going to introduce Robin in the Batman Part 2 in a whole different other universe, what does that mean for a potential Robin to show up in, you know, a Teen Titans project for DC Studios. I mean, aren't they doing the dynamic duo? Is that Robin? Or is that Nightwing? I believe it's Nightwing. But where did they go in the route? Okay, we're going to do Nightwing instead of Robin, you know, for the DCU. Then, okay, then it's manageable. They can separate the two, but this is the biggest problem I have, because you're always consistently going back and forth. What can we do? What can't we do? Having this whole two separate universe shit, I despise. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys love it. I know some of you guys are keen on the idea of it. I don't. I don't want two separate universes or two separate Batmans, two separate characters. It just makes no sense. You know, you're not going to have the Penguin show up in Batman Brave and the Bold or Catwoman. You know, it's being done right now. And you're going to have to, you know, I can't say that word right now. Oh my God, I feel so dumb. But I don't know. Like, you're going to have to do something drastically different from both of these universes, you know. And to have a Robin potentially already in a Batman Part 2 is interesting. I'm curious to know if there's going to be a ginormous time jump in the Batman Part 2. Because what, he was only 2-3 years into being Batman and you're already introducing Robin? Maybe someone who's a little bit more experienced, a little bit better, or a detective, you know, but we'll see what happens with the time jump. Matt Reeves was cooking for years for the script, you guys. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic. On par with what we got from the first film, but even better. Because when you deliver sequels, they have to be so much better than the first film. Honestly, it's true. It has to be like The Dark Knight. Although, you know, that's the general consensus for most people. I prefer Batman Begins over The Dark Knight. That's just fact. I love it. I love Batman Begins so much. So damn good. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I want to see Robin. And I want to see Robin and Batman. But I don't know what universe you should actually save that for. I mean, Batman Brave and the Bold has Damon in it. So, you know, you know what I mean? It's just, it gets so icky. I don't know. And it could be frustrating. And I understand, you know, Clayface is coming out late next year in September. So it's like, you know, two separate worlds. One's very super, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? One is very fantastical and one is not. More grounded in reality, kind of what Nolan already delivered for 3 films. But we'll see what happens, you guys. There could be a massive surprise. Maybe Batman Brave and the Bold is canceled, and maybe the Batman Part 2 is a part of DCU, and then we get to see David Cornswell as Superman and Robert Pattinson as Batman together on screen, because they would be so perfect together. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about Jeff Snyder's report about Robin appearing in the Batman Part 2, and Matt Reeves taking some big old bold swings with this sequel to the Batman. And let me know, you guys, how you guys feel about, you know, this potential sequel to Superman revolving around the whole super family. Crypto, you know, Power Girl eventually, you know, Steel, you name it. Kara, let me know how you guys feel about that. A little bit too early, a little bit too soon? Post it in the comments down below. And, of course, thank you guys for taking time into your day for watching Geek Fandom Media. Peace.